Day 1203. We're 3 kilometers beneath the polar ice cap. The drill just broke through into something impossible. A chamber, vast, ancient, and it's not empty. My name is Dr. Yuki Tanaka. What I'm about to tell you is classified. Earth doesn't know yet. They can't know. Not until we understand what we found. Because if we're right, humanity's future on Mars, in the solar system, everywhere, it all changes today. This is the story you've been waiting for. The sequel. What happened after Commander Chen sent that first report to Earth? And trust me, nothing could have prepared us for this. Let me catch you up on what happened after we found the ancient Martian device. Earth's response was complicated. The first transmission we received was from the director of the Mars colonization project herself. Commander Chen, your discovery is unprecedented. We are dispatching additional personnel and equipment immediately. Under no circumstances are you to excavate any further sites without authorization. But here's the problem. The additional personnel would take 7 months to arrive. 7 months of waiting while we knew there were more secrets buried beneath Mars. Commander Chen assembled the crew for a meeting. "I know what you're all thinking," she began. "Earth wants us to wait, but I want to show you something." She displayed the holographic coordinates from the ancient device. This location here, beneath the northern polar ice cap, it's marked differently than the others. See how it pulses? It's not just another historical site. The ancient Martians wanted whoever found their message to go there first. "But Earth explicitly ordered us not to," James started. "Earth ordered us not to excavate without authorization," Chen interrupted. "What if we simply explore, survey the site? No excavation, just reconnaissance." Marcus frowned. "That's technically following orders, but barely." "Frankly, I don't care," Chen responded. "We're the ones here. We're the ones who made this discovery. We have both the right and the obligation to understand it." After heated debate, they voted. 5 in favor, 1 against. The expedition was approved. Planning the polar expedition took 3 weeks. Let me explain the challenges. First, the distance. The polar ice cap was 2,800 kilometers from our base. That's roughly the distance from New York to Los Angeles on Earth. Second, the environment. Martian polar regions are extremely cold, even by Mars standards. Temperatures can drop to minus 125 degrees Celsius. Third, the ice itself. The northern polar ice cap is composed of both water ice and carbon dioxide ice. It's approximately 2 kilometers thick. "How will we penetrate the ice?" I asked during a planning session. Marcus presented his solution. "We'll use thermal drilling equipment. It will slowly melt through the ice, but it's going to take time, presumably about 6 days to reach the coordinates." "And what if Earth finds out before we finish?" Dr. Okonkwo asked. "They won't," Alex responded. "The communication delay between Mars and Earth is currently 22 minutes each way. Even if they order us to stop, we'll have at least 44 minutes to make decisions before their response arrives." Commander Chen made the final decision. "We leave in 5 days. Crew composition, myself, Dr. Tanaka." The journey north. Day 921. Departure day. We loaded 2 pressurized rovers with equipment. Drilling machinery, excavation tools, scientific instruments, food, oxygen, emergency supplies. "Remember," Commander Chen addressed the entire colony via video, "this is a reconnaissance mission. We're going to look, to learn, to understand. We're not going to disturb anything we find. We are acting as scientists, not treasure hunters." The journey took 8 days. Let me describe what we saw. The Martian landscape is incredibly diverse. We crossed vast plains of red dust. We drove through canyon systems where ancient rivers once flowed. We climbed slopes of massive shield volcanoes. On day 4, we encountered something unexpected. "Stop the rover," I called to Alex, who was driving. "What is it?" he asked. "Look at that rock formation," I pointed. "Those patterns, they match the geometric patterns from the cave." We all exited the rover to examine it. Sure enough, carved into a boulder, barely visible under millions of years of dust, were the same mathematical symbols. They left markers, Marcus realized. The ancient Martians left a trail to guide us. Or to warn us, I added quietly. Commander Chen recorded everything. We're on the right path. Let's continue. Over the next 4 days, we found 6 more markers, each one. On day 8, we reached the polar ice cap. There it is, Alex breathed. Before us stretched an endless expanse of white and pink ice, glittering under the thin Martian atmosphere. It was breathtaking. According to the coordinates, Marcus checked his instruments, we need to drill approximately 300 meters from the ice edge at this exact location. We set up base camp. The temperature had dropped to minus 95 degrees Celsius. Our heated habitat modules worked overtime to keep us warm. Let's rest tonight, Commander Chen decided. Tomorrow, we drill. The drilling begins. Day 922. Dawn on the polar ice cap. Marcus activated the thermal drill. It was a cylinder, 2 meters tall, filled with heating elements. The drill would slowly sink into the ice, melting a tunnel wide enough for a person to climb through. At current settings, Marcus explained, we'll descend approximately 300 meters per day. So 6 or 7 days to reach the coordinates? Chen asked. Roughly, yes, unless we encounter problems. We encountered problems. On day 2 of drilling, at a depth of 600 meters, the drill hit something hard. Metal. A metal plate embedded in the ice, and it was covered in those geometric patterns. The ancient Martians sealed this, I whispered. They deliberately covered it with ice. Can we cut through it? Chen asked. Marcus examined the readings. It's not like any metal I've seen. It's exceptionally strong. But yes, with the right tools, we can cut through. It will take another day. We spent that day cutting through the metal seal. When we finally broke through, sensors detected something astonishing. There was an open space below, a cavity, and it contained atmosphere. That's impossible, Alex said. There shouldn't be any atmosphere beneath kilometers of ice. Apparently, the ancient Martians had better technology than we thought, I responded. On day 925, we were finally ready to descend. Entering the unknown. Commander Chen went first. She rappelled down the shaft on a safety cable, her helmet light piercing the darkness below. I'm through the seal, her voice crackled on the radio. I'm entering the cavity. There's... Oh my God. What? What do you see? I asked urgently. You need to come down, all of you, right now. One by one, we descended. When I emerged from the shaft and my lights illuminated the space around me, I understood Chen's reaction. We weren't in a natural cave. We were in a structure, a vast artificial chamber that stretched in all directions. The walls were smooth, metallic. This was constructed, Marcus whispered. This is architecture. The atmospheric sensors on our suits showed something remarkable. The air here was breathable. Not by human standards, it was too thin, but much denser than the Martian surface. How is this possible? Alex asked. This chamber's been sealed for millions of years. How is there still atmosphere? Look, I pointed upward. The ceiling, barely visible in the dim light, was covered in strange crystalline formations. Those crystals, they're generating oxygen, some kind of ancient life support system that's still functioning. We explored carefully. The chamber wasn't empty. Along the walls were alcoves, each containing what looked like equipment, machinery, or storage containers. Everything was preserved perfectly in the controlled environment. It's a bunker, Commander Chen realized. The ancient Martians built this as a refuge, a place to survive the loss of their atmosphere. But if they built this, I said slowly, why aren't they here? Where did they go? That's when we found the tunnel. The city below. At the far end of the chamber, partially hidden behind what looked like storage containers, was a passageway leading deeper underground. We should proceed carefully, Chen warned. The tunnel descended at a steep angle. We followed it for nearly an hour, going deeper and deeper into the Martian crust. The temperature rose gradually. We were below the ice now, protected from the surface cold. Marcus checked his instruments. We're now 3.2 kilometers. The tunnel opened suddenly, and we emerged onto a ledge overlooking... I still struggle to describe it. A city. An underground city. It stretched before us in the dim bioluminescent light. Buildings, towers, structures of impossible design, all carved from the Martian rock, preserved in this massive cavern. The architecture was elegant yet alien, with curves and angles that human engineers would never design. This is undoubtedly the greatest archaeological discovery in human history, Alex said, his voice trembling. We descended into the city. The streets were empty, silent. Dust covered everything, but the structures stood intact. The ancient Martians had built to last. "Look at this," Marcus called from inside one building. "This looks like a home. There's furniture, or what served as furniture, and these panels on the walls. I think they were displays, like computer screens." I entered what appeared to be a public square. In the center was a monument, a tall pillar covered in inscriptions. "Can anyone interpret these symbols?" I asked. "Not yet," Chen admitted. "But we're learning. Look at this." She pointed to a series of images carved into the base of the monument. They told a story. First panel, Mars with blue skies and oceans. Second panel, a catastrophe, perhaps a massive solar flare or asteroid impact. Third panel, the atmosphere escaping into space. Fourth panel, the civilization retreating underground. Fifth panel, and then something unexpected. "Are those ships?" Marcus asked, looking at the final panel. "It looks like they're leaving Mars." Evidently, the ancient Martians didn't die, I realized. They evacuated. They left. But where did they go? Alex wondered. Commander Chen stared at the final panel. "I don't know, but I intend to find out." The library. We spent 2 days exploring the city. We were methodically documenting everything: buildings, artifacts, inscriptions. Every discovery raised more questions. On the third day, Alex found something crucial: a building that could only be described as a library. The structure was distinctive, taller than the others, with a domed roof. Inside, the walls were lined with alcoves, and each alcove contained crystalline data storage devices, thousands of them. "This is their knowledge," Marcus breathed. "Their entire civilization's accumulated knowledge preserved here." "Can we access it?" Chen asked. Marcus examined one of the devices. "These are incredibly advanced. They use crystalline matrix storage, a technology we're only beginning to understand on Earth. But," he paused, studying a central console, "there's an interface here. It's similar to the one on the device we found in the cave." "Try it," Chen urged. Marcus carefully touched the interface. The console activated. Blue light filled the room. Holographic displays appeared all around us. "It's working," I exclaimed. "Can you access the data?" "I'm trying," Marcus said, his hands moving across the holographic controls. "The system is responding to input. I think I can... Yes, I'm accessing their database." Images began to flow across the displays. We saw the history of ancient Mars, their cities, their culture, their technology. We saw their science, their art, their daily lives. And then we saw their downfall. The images showed the disaster in detail. Not an asteroid, not a solar flare, something else, something that changed everything. The truth about Mars. According to this data, Marcus translated, Mars began losing its atmosphere approximately 3.7 billion years ago. But it wasn't a natural process, or rather it was natural, but the ancient Martians accelerated it. "How?" I asked. They were mining, Alex realized, looking at the data. Deep core mining. They extracted minerals from deep within Mars's core, disrupting the planet's internal magnetic field. The holographic displays showed massive mining operations, tunnels extending deep into the Martian. Without a strong magnetic field, Marcus continued, the solar wind began stripping away the atmosphere. The ancient Martians realized their mistake, but by then it was too late. They couldn't reverse the damage. They destroyed their own planet, Chen said quietly, through ignorance and greed. Not entirely through ignorance, I corrected, reading more of the data. Look at these later records. They knew what they were doing. They had scientists warning them, but they didn't stop. They couldn't stop. Their economy, their society, everything depended on the mining. So they made a choice, Alex said. Economic survival over environmental sustainability, and it killed their world. The holographic displays showed the final years, the desperate attempts to restore the atmosphere, the construction of underground cities, and finally, the decision to leave. Where did they go? Chen asked the system. The display changed, showing a star chart. Marcus studied it carefully. These coordinates, this is within our solar system. They didn't go far. They went... He stopped, his face pale. Where? I demanded. Earth, he whispered. The ancient Martians emigrated to Earth. The impossible truth. Silence filled the library. We all stared at the star chart. That's impossible, I finally said. We would know. We would have found evidence. Would we? Alex asked. This was 3.7 billion years ago. Earth was young then, barely cooled. The continents were forming. Any evidence would have been erased by geological processes billions of years ago. Marcus accessed more data. According to these records, they sent expeditions to Earth, multiple expeditions over thousands of years. They were trying to terraform Earth to make it more like ancient Mars. But Earth already had life, I protested. Primitive life, but life. Single-celled organisms. Yes, Chen said, reading the data carefully, and the Martians interacted with that life. They altered it. They used their biotechnology to accelerate evolution. Are you saying... I couldn't finish the sentence. Yes, Chen confirmed. The ancient Martians didn't just visit Earth, they influenced the development of life on Earth. They guided evolution. Every living thing on Earth, including humans, has Martian influence in our DNA. We're not aliens and humans, I whispered. We're all Martians. We're all descended from the same source. The implications were staggering. Earth needs to know about this, Marcus said. No, Commander Chen replied firmly. Earth must not know, not yet. We all turned to look at her. Think about what happened here, she continued. The ancient Martians destroyed their planet through excessive resource exploitation. And now, what is humanity doing on Earth? Climate change, deforestation, ocean acidification? We're repeating their mistakes. But knowing this history could help us, I argued. It's a warning. Is it? Chen challenged. Or will people use it as justification? The ancient Martians were advanced and they did it, so we can too. Or worse, they escaped to Earth, so we can escape to Mars. She's right, Alex agreed reluctantly. This information is too dangerous right now. Humanity isn't mature enough to handle it wisely. So what do we do? I asked. The debate. We sat in that ancient library, surrounded by the knowledge of a dead civilization, and debated the future of two worlds. We have an ethical obligation to share this discovery, Marcus insisted. Science belongs to everyone. We can't keep secrets of this magnitude. But we also have an ethical obligation to prevent harm, Chen countered. Knowledge can be dangerous. Look at nuclear technology. It could have brought unlimited clean energy, but instead it brought weapons. That's a false equivalence, I argued. Nuclear weapons and historical information aren't the same thing. Aren't they? Alex asked. What if this information starts wars? What if nations fight over who has the right to Martian heritage? What if it triggers political chaos on Earth? We can't make this decision alone, I said. We're 6 people. This concerns all of humanity. Commander Chen stood and paced the library. You're all correct. This is too big for us to decide, but we're the ones here. We're the ones who found it, and we need to make a temporary decision until we can consult properly with Earth. What do you propose? Marcus asked. We document everything, Chen said. Every detail, every piece of data. We create a comprehensive record, but we don't transmit it yet. We withhold it until we can return to Earth and present it in person with proper context and careful planning.
That will take years, Alex protested. The next Earth return launch window isn't for 18 months, and the journey takes 7 months. Exactly, Chen nodded. That gives us time. Time to understand this discovery fully. Time to prepare humanity for what it means. Time to develop a plan for how to share it responsibly. And what do we tell Earth right now? I asked. The truth, Chen smiled, just not all of it. We tell them we found the city. We tell them it's spectacular. We tell them it will take years to properly study. All of that is true. We just don't mention the part about us. The signal. We spent the next week in the underground city documenting everything. I took biological samples, Marcus studied the technology, Alex mapped the geology, and Chen cataloged the cultural artifacts. On our last day there, as we were preparing to return to the surface, the library console activated spontaneously. I didn't touch anything, Marcus said, alarmed. A new holographic display appeared. It showed a message written in symbols that gradually transformed into English before our eyes. The ancient Martian AI was adapting to communicate with us. The message read, "To those who came after, you have found our legacy. You know our story. You know what we became. We leave you with a choice we never had, knowledge of our mistakes before you make them. Guard this knowledge wisely. Share it when your species is ready, not before. We lost our world through pride, through assumption that technology could solve any problem, through belief that resources were infinite. We survived. We found new life on the blue world, but we could never forget what we lost. You are our children, separated by billions of years. You carry our potential and our flaws. Choose better than we did. The archives are yours. The technology is yours. The knowledge is yours. Use it not to repeat our journey, but to transcend it."
As we ascended through the ice shaft, Marcus asked a question that had been bothering us all. What happens when other explorers find this place? We can't guard it forever. The ancient Martians thought of that, Alex replied. Look at what happened when we left the library. The console shut down, the city's lights dimmed. I think the whole system goes dormant when no one is there. And finding it again won't be easy, I added. The coordinates were specific. Without the ancient device from the first cave, no one would know exactly where to drill. And the Martian polar ice cap is vast. You could drill 1,000 holes and never find it. Nevertheless, someone will eventually find it, Chen said. Maybe in 50 years, maybe in 500. But when they do, I hope humanity is ready to learn the lesson. We emerged from the ice on day 934. The Martian sun had never looked so beautiful. Report to base, Chen ordered into a radio. This is Commander Chen. The polar expedition was successful. We found extraordinary archaeological remains. Returning to base. Estimated arrival in 9 days. Dr. Okonkwo's voice crackled back. Great news, Commander, but you need to know, Earth has been desperately trying to contact you. The communication embargo is over. They want a full report immediately. Chen looked at us. We all nodded. We knew what we had to do. Tell Earth, Chen transmitted, that we have monumental discoveries to report. Tell them we found an ancient Martian city. Tell them we found technology, art, culture, history. Tell them, she paused, tell them it will take years to fully comprehend what we found. We're bringing back samples and data, but this is just the beginning.
All true, just not complete. Epilogue, 1 year later. Day 1289. Mars Colony Base has grown to 150 people. The second wave of colonists arrived 3 months ago. They're full of excitement, full of questions about the ancient Martian discoveries. We give them answers. We show them the cave with the first device. We show them the artifacts we've brought back. We share what we can. But the full truth, the connection between Mars and Earth, the revelation that all life on Earth carries Martian influence, the warning about sustainable living, that remains classified. The ancient library beneath the ice remains sealed. The coordinates are known only to the 6 of us. We've encoded them in a message that will be released automatically, but only if humanity proves it can live sustainably on Earth for 100 consecutive years. 100 years of declining carbon emissions, 100 years of increasing biodiversity, 100 years of learning from the ancient Martians' mistakes. If humanity achieves this, the message will automatically transmit the coordinates to every space agency on Earth. If not, the secret remains buried. Do you think they'll make it? Marcus asked me last week over coffee in the colony cafeteria. Honestly, I don't know, I replied, but I hope so. I genuinely hope so. Commander Chen has resigned from her position. She's returning to Earth on the next transport. She says she needs to work from there to help guide humanity toward the future the ancient Martians hoped for. Someone needs to advocate for sustainable policies on Earth, she told us at her farewell dinner. Someone who knows what's at stake. Someone who has seen what happens when a civilization ignores the warnings. I'm staying on Mars. This is my home now. Every day I work in the greenhouse, growing food in Martian soil. Every day I look at the red rocks and dust and remember that this planet once had rivers, once had rain, once had life. Every day I remember that we are that life's descendants. And every day I wonder, will humanity learn? Will we prove ourselves worthy of the ancient Martians' legacy? Or will we repeat their tragic story on Earth? The answer, I think, depends on whether we can learn from history, whether we can change, whether we can grow. The ancient Martians gave us a gift, knowledge of our shared past, and a warning about our shared future. What we do with that gift will determine not just humanity's fate, but whether we honor or betray the memory of our ancestors who lost their world. This is Dr. Yuki Tanaka, Mars Colony Base, signing off. But remember, this story isn't over. It's just beginning. And you, yes, you watching this, you're part of it too. Because the future of 2 worlds now rests in the choices humanity makes every single day. Choose wisely. The coordinates remain sealed, the ancient library waits, and Earth's 100-year timer has already begun. Will you be part of the generation that unlocks humanity's greatest discovery? Or will the secret of Mars remain buried forever? That ultimately depends on all of us. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey beneath the Martian ice. Over the past 50 minutes, you've learned English not through boring textbooks, but through an immersive story that made you forget you were even studying. Let me recap what we covered. Vocabulary themes, scientific terminology, excavate, electromagnetic, biodiversity, dormant, action verbs, descend, penetrate, activate, adapt, transmit. Descriptive adjectives, vast, remarkable, staggering, monumental. Abstract concepts, obligation, sustainability, legacy, testament. Grammar patterns,
Future expressions: will, would, going to, might, could. Speculation language: possibly, presumably, evidently, apparently. Conditional thinking: if humanity achieves, then the message will. Present perfect for completed actions with present relevance. Storytelling structures: how to build suspense and maintain interest, how to describe discoveries and revelations, how to express moral dilemmas in English, how to discuss consequences and decisions. But more importantly, you experienced a complete narrative arc in English. You followed characters, felt emotions, pondered questions, all while absorbing natural English. This is how you truly master a language, not through memorization, but through experience. Now, your homework. 1. Write a comment answering this question. If you found the ancient Martian library, would you tell Earth immediately or wait until humanity was ready? Why? 2. Practice the vocabulary. Choose 10 new words from this story and write your own sentences using them. 3. Record yourself. Try reading one section of this story aloud. Notice which words are difficult to pronounce. Practice them. 4. Create your own ending. What happens after 100 years? Does humanity succeed or fail? Write a short paragraph. 5. Most importantly, subscribe, because I need to tell you what happens next. Does Commander Chen succeed in changing Earth's policies? What other secrets are hidden on Mars? What happens when other nations start arriving at the colony? Part 3 is coming soon, and it will explore the political tension that erupts when Earth learns there's more to discover on Mars. It will teach you English vocabulary for conflict, negotiation, and diplomacy. But I can only create Part 3 if you show me you want it. So, thumbs up this video if you learned something new, comment your answer to the homework question, subscribe and turn on notifications, share with anyone learning English. Remember, every like, comment, and share tells me you want more stories like this, and I have dozens more ideas waiting. Before I go, let me leave you with one final thought from the ancient Martians. The measure of a civilization is not what it builds, but what it preserves for those who come after. What will humanity preserve? What will your generation leave behind? Think about it, and I'll see you in Part 3. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep reaching for the stars. This is your English learning journey. Make it extraordinary. Thank you for watching.